yards, 60 yards.
Field. Like, why are we not playing, like, to try and run the clock out so that USF doesn't get the ball back? Like, I don't know. I don't understand what's going on at Florida. USF, I'm a little less concerned for them than I am Florida.
I mean, they're in a good spot.
I mean,
it's a great spot to be USF right now.
Just like every single sport, NFL, I mean, college football, it's early in the season. It's what, week 3? And this USF Bulls team is really going to have a true test. I mean, Florida has always been shaky consistently since, of the 2010s and up to now. And then they played Boise State, which everybody's saying, like, USF is the new Boise State, but better. But you got to see with, like,
No.
And, I mean, this was a game.
They've got to show me
a group of 5 team. But
Boise State had 3 red zone fumbles in that game. It was much closer than the scoreboard said, as much as that is a dumb thing to say a lot of the time.
I do want to say, pan the camera back to Jackson for a second. Why? Jackson, what team is on your hat?
What team is on my hat? The New York Yankees. Why?
What team are you a fan of?
The Cardinals.
Okay, wear your Cardinals merch next time.
Gang affiliation.
So moving on to the next team, I want to talk about the Florida State Seminoles. We have a couple fans that you guys know Chase and Andrew from Sports Out of Pocket last semester. They were huge Florida State fans. We also have Jackson Schrader on Sports Pack. He's also a big Florida State fan, and they got me bought into it a little bit. I really like what I'm seeing out of Tommy Castellanos. And what I'm seeing out of Deuce Robinson, he's a beast. That dude is a freak athlete.
Deuce Robinson, I love you.
Just watch the reel if you don't understand that. But I'm really big on this team. I really like what I'm seeing out of their offense, and their defense is managing to step up in those big moments. We saw it against Alabama in week 1, holding them to how many points? Like 7? 14?
No, they held them down to, I think it was 21 points.
21 points. But they got the dub in the end.
17. Yeah, it was 31-17.
31-17.
But really, Florida State, what impressed me about this year was how bad last year went. They went 2-10 last year, and it could have easily gone that way again. But Mike Norvell turned this program around and went out and got new guys, and he said, if you guys last year aren't going to be the team that I think you're going to be, then I'm going to bring in guys that I want that are going to take this program to where it needs to be again.
Yeah, and like you were saying, there was only 8 starters that returned from this Florida State team. And I guess that's what they needed because now they're starting off strong in their season.
Yeah, look, Florida State, man, like we talked about it in the first episode. We talked about Mike Norvell taking a big pay cut to bring in guys like Squirrel White, to bring in guys like Deuce Robinson, and truly it's paid off. That shows the kind of coach like Mike Norvell is, taking a $5 million pay cut out of his own salary to make this team better.
Yeah, we love a coach that makes sacrifices.
I mean, it's a storied program at Florida State. Great players want to play at Florida State. There's a lot of tradition, a lot of history. This team scored 77 points last week. They couldn't do that on a JV middle school team last year. So it's good to see them getting back in the win column. I think this team is definitely a contender in the ACC this year.
Yeah, and going on to the last team, as you talked about the ACC, Miami, they're looking like the front runner in this ACC. Also a Florida team. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Carson Beck there now. I'm really liking this Miami team. I think they are the front runners for the ACC, but I know we have 2 Georgia Tech fans in here. So I'm gonna let you guys argue that a little bit.
No, I mean Miami. Yeah, Miami is the front runner right now. I'm not delusional. I'm a Georgia Tech fan, but I'm not. Yeah.
I think this weekend is going to say a lot about it in that Georgia State Clemson game that we're going to talk a little bit about later. But I think Miami, has solidified themselves as the team at the top of the conference. They have the best win out of any team in the conference right now. When they win and they beat Notre Dame in week 1. You have SMU, who was looking at kind of like are they going to be it again this year? And they wound up going out and losing to Baylor last week. And then you have Florida State and Georgia Tech. They're risers in the conference right now, but I don't know if I trust them right now enough like I do Miami. Like Miami has the veteran quarterback in Carson Beck. They have the front 7 that's one of the best in the ACC, if not one of the best in the entire country. So I think that Miami is looking really, really good right now, and I think they've put themselves in a really, really good spot.
Yeah, the thing that I'm worried about with Miami is Mario Cristobal at the coaching spot. This is a thing we've seen with his teams at Oregon and now at Miami. Losing focus late in games and late in the season.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech fans, we know all about this.
Yeah, can Mario Cristobal keep his team working towards that and keep them moving forward instead of staying stagnant where they are now, which is one of the best teams in the country at the start of the year. But teams will improve. Miami needs to make sure they can do that along with the rest of the country.
Yeah, and moving on to probably the game of the weekend, Michigan versus Oklahoma. I want to talk about this one a little bit. Oklahoma's defense looks unstoppable. Like, Michigan could not do anything against them other than, like, the 150-yard breakaway run. But other than that, like, this defense was locked down. They were stopping the run. This team hit hard, and then they come back the next play, they hit even harder. This defense is insane. I think at quarterback with John Mateer, he is that guy. I think he is my personal Heisman candidate. I think Oklahoma has a chance to make a good playoff push and possibly a pretty far playoff run. But speaking on like Heisman candidates, I know Jackson is really big on another guy in this Mizzou team.
On the Mizzou team? Well, not Heisman candidate. Well, he is kind of a Heisman
dark horse
right
for
now.
you, at least.
Dark horse.
You seem to talk so much about him.
Meanie, miny.
We got to stop this.
Bo Pribula.
We got to stop this, guys.
Honestly, with this Mizzou and Kansas game, it really, really, really scared me. After that first quarter, Kansas was up 21-6, and I spoke upon it last time. By the way, go check out the YouTube shorts on Wolf Sports Network. We did our Week 1 takeaways, and I spoke upon Mizzou and their shaky defense. That's the only thing that really scares me about this Mizzou team. But when it came to crunch time, battled back after halftime. Bo Pribula with the 27-yard touchdown pass, and then a lot of crucial crunch time. So what really came down between this Kansas and Mizzou team is Kansas, it was the limited time in possession, and Kansas really couldn't, utilize that to their expense. But Bo Pribula, I have no issue with him going against ULM. Heading into University of Louisiana heading into this week. But the biggest test with Bo Pribula and this Mizzou team is going to be that one up there against South Carolina.
That one up there.
South Carolina.
One up there,
yeah, I really like what you were saying about Bo Pribula. I do think he's going to be up there in Heisman candidate talks. He's already so these are stats from his first game, Week 1. He got 79.1% of his passes completed for 617 yards and 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. And then adding on 71 rushing yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. All of this in the first game of the season. One game. Now, I really like the Mizzou team, but like you said, they have some tough games coming up. I know they have South Carolina this next month. I think they have Alabama this next month.
Alabama, tough.
All right. Well, okay, it's still Alabama.
Yeah, I know it's still Alabama.
Anything can happen with Alabama, but at the same time,
and then Oklahoma towards the end of the season.
They do.
They have a tough schedule. It's going to be very telling later on.
It's their defense that has to
Yeah, I mean they miss some of the scarier teams in the SEC though. No Texas, no Georgia, no Tennessee, no Ole Miss. It could be you could have a Florida schedule.
Yeah,
so
but a lot of the games that are in this upcoming month, I believe in October, are really tough games that are really going to be telling on how their season's going to go in the future. And then moving on to the Big 12. Aiden, you love this conference. You love some of the teams in this conference. Give me a little bit on who you think the front runners are.
The front runner right now, I have Texas Tech. They're the only team that I've really seen anything out of this year. They're ranked right now. And this Big 12 is super weak. I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is one of the weakest conferences we've seen. They're probably the American Conference might be better than the Big 12 this year, to be entirely honest with you. This is a brutal year to be for the Big
to be
12.
a Big 12 fan. I think this is a very weak conference as well. I think there's a couple possible teams that could be at the top. You got Iowa State, you got Utah, you got Texas Tech. Some of these teams that are up there, they're ranked teams. But you just really don't know who's going to come out of it and make a championship and make the playoffs out of this conference.
Arizona State, they've already disappointed early.
Yeah,
none of these teams.
They're nothing without Scatabo.
I will say the Big 12.
Like Jordan Tyson.
The Big 12 race is wide open, and I don't think it's because there's a lot of good teams at the top. I think that there's a lot of almost good teams. But you look at the start of the Big 12 season. And you look at Kansas State; they have looked absolutely awful through the first 3 weeks of the season. You look at Baylor losing to Auburn week 1. You look at Oregon. You look at Oklahoma State losing by 66 to Oregon last week. Arizona State losing to Mississippi State. Kansas losing to Missouri. And then you have West Virginia that lost to Ohio last week. This doesn't get much worse for the Big 12 than what it is right now.
It was really, really disappointing because Mississippi State is in that range of 13 to 16 ranked teams in the SEC, and to see them go down like that, or Arizona State go down like that.
I will say with the Big 12 being this kind of not good in depth, it gives Texas Tech, who's a team that's up and coming, the opportunity to lead the conference, take control of it, and make some noise in January. I would argue they're far and away, the Big 12, the worst Power 4 conference.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and Jackson, I don't even know how to describe the noise you just made.
It really shows how detrimental this Big 12 conference is without Texas and Oklahoma.
I don't know how to describe that sound, but what I do know how to describe is I think Iowa State is this front runner in this conference. I think that they are clear the best team. I think that with their upcoming schedule, I think they have some easy matchups that they can definitely get away with some wins, continue to push their case for making that championship and then making that playoff.
See, my thing with Iowa State, though, is they almost lost to Kansas week 1, and then they lost to Iowa, who's going to eventually wind up being an 8-4 team, 16-13. Yeah, it was a rivalry game with them, and there's going to be, like, close games and rivalries, but I still don't trust Iowa State.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody in this conference has the ability to go out and win a playoff game in January, as of right now. Maybe a team emerges. Arizona State didn't look great at the start of last year. They really built up over time, built up steam. Maybe that happens in the Big 12 this year, but right now I'm thoroughly unimpressed.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to give my championship, like Big 12 championship predictions. I think it's Iowa State versus Texas Tech.
Yeah,
I think Iowa State gets it done.
Same here.
I think that those two are far and away the better teams in this whole entire conference.
Premier, yep.
I really don't see it going any other way than that. Maybe Baylor sneaks in. I really like Sawyer Robinson, but that defense is going to have to do something.
Oh, I agree.
All right.
Actually, personally, I had Iowa State and Texas Tech written down, but don't be surprised with Utah.
I will say you guys were talking about Heisman candidates earlier. I want to bring up a case for somebody that's in Miami. And that's Carson Beck. Being a Georgia Tech fan, I didn't want to really talk about Carson Beck a whole lot. But Carson Beck has really impressed me with the stats over there in Miami so far. Like you talked about, what's his name? Bo Pribula.
Yeah.
Having a 71% completion percentage. I have one better for you. 76% by Carson Beck this season. And the way that he was able to compose himself in that opening game against Notre Dame, like we see he has done good, and he's done good against good defenses and good teams.
Yeah, and I do think Carson Beck is he's exceeding my expectations as a Georgia fan. I saw what he did at Georgia. I really like what he's doing at Miami. I think he's even doing it better at Miami than he was at Georgia, with not as much talent on that roster.
I'm really excited to see what Carson Beck does in the next couple weeks with coming up against Florida State coming up soon.
I'm really excited for that game.
I'm going over with the Twins. I'm going over by the Twins, and we're going to watch that. By the way, watching a game with them is very interesting. It's interesting.
Another good one.
Florida State fans are very They're
Florida State fans.
They are very there. Yeah,
they're very there.
They're interesting. They're interesting to say the least.
Well, you fans, you stay right there because when we come back, we're gonna be talking all things Georgia, and then get your wallets ready because we're gonna walk the line. So don't go anywhere.
Here in the South, college sports are pretty big, and well, that's a good thing. Because you're listening to the Playbook on Wolf Sports Network.
Ian's freestyle went big. But we're going to go bigger.
Dang, it's my first season. I feel like a star. I be dropping hot takes. I speak real bizarre. How many views we gonna get? I'd say about 1 mil. Out of Pocket Season 6. We got zero chill. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome to the Boring Sports Show, where we only bring the most boring sports takes. Who are you?
I am Hot Takes Man, and I defend the world from boring sports shows like yours. Another day's work for Hot Takes Man. Citizen, if you want to save yourself from boring sports content, then tune in to Sports Out of Pocket, Wednesdays from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Listen up, because I got to tell you, Sports Pack is back and better than ever right here on Wolf Sports Network. Sports Pack is UWG's one-stop shop for all things sports. From hot takes to heated debates and even your best bets for the week, Sports Pack has you covered. So don't miss out on the fun. Catch us right here on Wolf Sports Network every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
From Athens to Atlanta, Statesboro to Macon. If college football is being played in the Peach State, we're all over it. This is the Peach Slate.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Peach Slate, and we are talking all things Georgia in this segment. And we're joined by a new face here, Joey Prater. How we doing today, brother?
Hey, we're making it, man. We're making it. Glad to be back, boys.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And we're going to start it right off with our very own West Georgia Wolves. Starting off a season very, very hot. Starting off 2-0, beating a top 22 team in Nichols last week. And we have a great game coming up this week against East Tennessee State. I'm really excited for what I've seen out of this West Georgia Wolves team. I see a lot of people saying we might even be a football school now.
Might be.
I don't know, but if we win this week, we might be cooking something up there. We're starting off very strong with a 34-3 win in week 1 against Sanford, and then beating Nichols last week. Not just close game, 34-10. I'm really loving what I'm seeing out of this team, out of this offense with Davin Widener. Last week he had not a great passing game, but he did have 2 passing touchdowns, and he had 103 rushing yards on the ground. Along with Latrell Morrell, 170 rushing yards on the ground, and then TJ Lester having 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Our rushing game these first 2 weeks is unstoppable. 351 yards on the ground last week, and we're now ranked 25th in FCS. I'm really excited for this. It's our home opener this weekend, so fans, be there, show out, and get excited for this West Georgia Wolves team this year.
This week, Michigan legend Cade McNamara comes to the City of Dreams.
Yes, he does. The City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia.
Man who led Michigan over Ohio State this week will be in Carrollton, Georgia, struggling against this elite West Georgia defense.
Yes, he will.
I mean, you mentioned that big start by West Georgia, and I do want to attribute Coach Taylor and his coaching staff for a big part of those 2 wins. I think that they completely revamped their offensive and defensive line. They took an emphasis on the trenches. And I think that's how you win football games, especially when you're West Georgia. You solidify a run game. You're not going to have the talent that like Stanford does. We didn't have the talent that Nicholls State did. But we established a run game. We kept the ball out of their offense's hands. And I think that's the way we're going to have to play football now. But I do want to say, Davin Widener, we've got to complete some passes, man. He's completing 46% of his passes. He has 4 interceptions right now. I don't mean to dog on him, but he's going to have to step up at some point.
If you rush for 300 yards, you win.
Yeah, I tried not to mention the fact that he also had 2 picks last week, and he only completed 33% of his passes. I just didn't want to even go over that. I just wanted to focus on our rushing game and how good we are on the ground. But Joey,
it's good to have a good rushing game, but that's a one-dimensional offense.
Yeah.
You can't have a one-dimensional offense. Now you're in a point to where if you're down 10 and you need a pass and you need to rely on Davin Widener to make a pass, you can't rely on him. You don't have a quarterback you can rely on to get the ball to receivers.
Anyways,
QB play is what wins championships. Even in FCS, you see North Dakota State win 8 straight. Carson Wentz, Trey Lance, the names of.
And Joey, I want to throw this one to you real quick. What are you seeing out of this West Georgia Wolves team in these first 2 games?
Defense has been dominant. I love, I would say, as a defensive person myself, I love how good our defense has been, holding teams to literally under 10.
Yep.
10 and under. That's insane for us. Considering the fact we let up, 40 points average last year, and now we're averaging, I think, math rough, 6.5 points average now.
Yep.
So that's amazing for us.
This defensive line for West Georgia is something that's going to wreak havoc all over every offensive line they're going to go up against, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game against Eastern Tennessee State at 6:30. So be there, show out, go Wolves.
Yeah, let's go. And we're going to throw it right into our next game. Joey, you're a Kennesaw State guy. You really like what you like out of this team. But they did not have a great weekend.
Find me a positive here, Joey.
Yeah.
Kicker.
What's looking up?
Have a kicker, boy.
What's looking up in this Kennesaw State team, Joey?
After a missed extra point last week, came back.
Yeah, missed extra point last week, but he was able to get 3. He went 3 for 3 on his kicks.
He went 3 for 3 on his kicks.
3, boys.
Hey, you love to see it.
He was the only one to score points the entire day.
Hey, kickers matter a lot more than people think, especially when you're playing Indiana and you can score 9 points against them.
Oh, yeah. Indiana, they got absolutely mollywopped in that game. They gave up 593 yards to Indiana, which, Indiana's a pretty prominent offense. So, we didn't expect a whole lot out of Kennesaw State in this.
It's about what I expected out of Kennesaw State.
I don't know. They showed a little bit of
touchdown.
They showed a little bit of promise against Wake Forest last week, and I was a little bit hopeful that maybe this was going to be like a 25-30 point game, but No. Kennesaw State did not show up in this game.
Coach Sig doesn't do that, man.
A team that also I don't think showed up last weekend was the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm not a fan of what I saw last week against a very weak Austin Peay team. Georgia is a really, really big question mark to me going into this season, especially with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback. And his first career starts are happening right now, and we're having some turnover problems. There was a play right before the half where we decided we just didn't want to score a touchdown against a weak defense, and we managed to only put up 28 points against this team. We got the win, but it was a very, very ugly win for these Georgia Bulldogs. And if they play like this against Tennessee this weekend, we will 100% lose this game.
Yeah.
I think we need to get it together. I think we need to start converting on these fourth downs, just starting to play faster, better play calling, and stop turning over the ball so much.
Yeah, you just need an offensive identity. There is nothing there right now. It looks like a group of 11 guys who have never played with each other, have never seen each other before. They're out there. I don't know what's going on with Georgia's offense, but they do need to get together before SEC play begins because it's not going to go good.
And part of that is because they have a new quarterback in Gunnar Stockton behind center, but so many other teams also brought in new quarterbacks, and we still see a lot better play out of those teams than we do out of Georgia's offense.
I mean, even with Gunnar Stockton late last year, it did not look this lethargic and just disjointed.
Yeah.
See, it's obvious to me that this Georgia coaching staff still has doubts about Gunnar Stockton in some capacity. Yeah. Because they won't let him sling the ball around. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, these first 2 weeks against Austin Peay and Marshall, those are the games that you don't want to be struggling against. These are teams that you set up to where those first 2 games you get Gunnar to be able to throw the ball around, get him comfortable with the receivers before you go and you play a high-stake team like this Tennessee team this weekend. And they didn't do that at all. They just played conservatively on offense. And I don't know how Mike Bobo, their offensive coordinator, still has a job over there at Georgia because this man loves the screen passes. And I get it. I get trying to play that game with him. But at some point, you have Zachariah Branch. You have Oscar Delp. Work in some of your receivers to where you're putting the ball down the field. Yep. Like you didn't go out and get Zachariah Branch, one of the best receiver transfers in the entire nation, to not give him the football.
Yeah, I love us bringing in Zachariah Branch. I just think we need to use him more. We used Oscar Delp a lot last year. We need to start using him more. We need to start using these weapons that we have on our offense. And like what you were saying out of Gunnar Stockton, there should be no doubts behind it. He is a great quarterback. I got the opportunity to play against him in high school, and I went for a tackle. I did not go well. I don't know how much that's saying about me or if it's saying more about him, but he's a hard guy to tackle.
A little bit of both.
He's a great quarterback. He's a great dual-threat quarterback, and so he can use his legs on the ground, but he can also sling the ball like you talked about. He has that arm, and he's able to do those. They just need to let him do it.
It just goes to conservative play calling. Yeah. Like Georgia doesn't want to be aggressive at all on their offensive play calling, and I think it's going to wind up costing them.
Because they want to look weak. Or maybe they want to look weak to Tennessee, be like, oh, maybe we have a chance, and then just ball out.
I mean, BS this is strategy. I don't think that any team wants to be seen as weak, try and psych out their opponent.
No,
for
these
Georgia's
first 2 weeks where you play Austin Peay and Marshall, that's where you get your playbook set up for these big games. It's where you look at the guys you have and see who can make the big plays in the big moments. Yeah, and nobody showed up either week.
Quickly going over these last 3 teams before we move on. Georgia Tech coming out with a big win over Gardner-Webb, 59-12. Yep. Just about expected. No Haynes King.
Yep. Aaron Philo, the backup. This looks very good. He played a couple games for us last year too when Haynes King was injured, and I think this is I think Brent Key might be on the leading edge of college football here. This might be a new thing we see, where star quarterbacks sit out these smaller games against FCS opponents. Have their backups play. It gets the backups experience. Yep. It makes them feel like they're not just sitting there doing nothing all year, so they're less likely to transfer out. I think this could be one of a thing we see take hold in college football soon.
I do like that idea of letting the other guys play when you know just about guaranteed to get a win. Mm-hmm. Moving on, Georgia Southern losing 20-59 against USC, and then Georgia State losing 16-38 against Memphis. Overall, not too hot of a weekend for Georgia schools as UGA kind of weak. West Georgia went off strong though, and Georgia Tech got to sit their starters. So overall, a kind of decent weekend overall. But moving on, go ahead and get your wallets ready because it's time to walk the line.
There is no way Carson Beck is throwing for 240 this game.
Are you kidding me? This is a cakewalk for him. I'm hitting the over.
Walk the line.
You
heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're not liable for any money that you lose. We're not supposed to be helping you guys with gambling. But if it is a problem, there is a hotline for it. So moving on, the first game I want to talk about, actually, I'm going to throw this one to Aiden first. You love Parker Navarro and this Ohio team. And the line against Ohio State is 30.5-point favorites. Do you think this is too low of a line? Do you think Ohio is going to easily crush this line? What are your thoughts?
I think Ohio State being favored by 31. I think Ohio can keep it closer than that because of this offense led by Parker Navarro.
Yes, sir.
I'll say it time and time again until he lets me down. Didn't let me down last week where I said Ohio would outright win against West Virginia while being 7-point underdogs.
Yep.
This week I'm not going to say they're going to outright win being 31 point. But I think
would that be crazy though?
Yeah, I think this Ohio State offense has not looked particularly impressive these first couple weeks. I think Ohio's defense looked really good against West Virginia last week. They looked much improved from Rutgers in week 1. And Parker Navarro, man, I just can't bet against Parker Navarro ever.
He might be a sneaky Heisman candidate.
Maybe.
He might be.
I was about to say, I don't think they're sneaky about it. I think you're going to know the name Parker Navarro after this weekend.
After this weekend, you will know.
300 yards against Ohio.
Couple tutties.
Yeah. Whoa. 300 yards combined.
All right, I don't know about. I don't know.
That's a little crazy.
See if you can find a Parker Navarro total yards prop.
Ohio State is still going to win this game. I think it's only going to be by 20, but I think Parker Navarro still has a big game.
I do
17.
agree. I do think Parker Navarro has a great game with this Ohio offense. I think that they're able to keep it closer than 31 points against this Ohio State team. So I think Ohio does cover the spread. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Parker Navarro in this offense.
Aren't we all?
Yes. And moving on to our next game, we're going to talk about Wisconsin at Alabama. The line for the total points scored is 46.5. Joey, I'm going to throw this one to you first. Do you think they're going to get more than 46.5 points this week, or do you think this is going to be a defensive battle?
Defensive battle, especially with Wisconsin. Like, hear me out. Wisconsin has had a really strange defense because sometimes they're just insanely good and sometimes they're just disappointments.
Yep.
They were a disappointment last week. So I'm worried for Alabama not going to see many points. So I actually have Wisconsin winning this one.
Oh, yeah, Wisconsin winning
this one.
No.
All right, I'm going to bounce off of that and say that Alabama is playing the most mad football that I think we're ever going to see Alabama play after losing to Florida State in week 1. And I think they're playing against one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, in my opinion, this year in Wisconsin. And I think Alabama alone scores 46.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say I would take Alabama over 46.5, not total.
Yeah, I think Alabama and Wisconsin, I think this easily goes over 46.5 points. I could see 60 points, maybe 70 points getting scored in this game. Yeah. And over half of that is going to be from Alabama. They're going to get it done this week. They're playing rough. They're playing hard because they're not starting off too strong to the season. They have a lot to play for, and this is going to be a very telling game of what we might see out of Alabama in the future. Now, moving on to our next game, we got Oregon State at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is 23.5-point favorites. Brandon, what do we think?
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, Texas Tech being one of the favorites in the Big 12. And I want to talk about this Texas Tech offense real quick. They had 600 yards last week against Kent State, put up 67 points, have a combined 129 points through 2 weeks of the season. This offense has proven that they can produce when they are on the field, and the defense controls the game by forcing their opponents off the field after a short amount of time. And I think on top of all that, you have an Oregon State team who has Malik Murphy at quarterback. He used to be playing at Duke. But I think that the reason that he's been able to put up the yards and be as sustainable as he can in these first 2 weeks is because they've been playing from behind and they've just been letting him sling the ball wherever. Like, he threw the ball 49 times last week, and you can't be that one-dimensional with a defense like Texas Tech's.
Yeah.
Like, I really think that it spells disasters for Oregon State. Give me the Red Raiders by 30 at least.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon. I think this Oregon State defense isn't as good as people think it is. It's definitely not great at all.
They're good.
Absolutely nobody, and they look even worse than what people think they are right now. And I think Texas Tech's offense is very high powered. I think they easily cover this line. And, of course, I think they win by over 30 points as well.
Yeah, this Oregon State defense has given up 34 to Cal, 36 to Fresno State the last 2 weeks. I don't see him having a chance at stopping Texas Tech.
Texas Tech might put up 60 again. Maybe.
Well, moving on to this last game, we have Arkansas at Ole Miss. The line for total points is 62.5. Me personally, I don't think they're going to hit this line. I think these defenses start to take a step up. kind of struggling for these first 2 weeks. I think that these offenses are very high-powered, but I think these defenses do take that step up. And I think they still score like 50-something points total. I think this will be a somewhat high-scoring game, but 62.5 is just too high of a line for me.
I think the exact opposite of that. I think these defenses are absolutely garbage, and I think that there's going to be great quarterback play from both of these. You're looking at two guys who are top 4 in the SEC in passing yards so far. And I think that Taylon Green from Arkansas, very underrated quarterback over there. And I think that both of these teams have high-powered offense, and they have very stagnant defenses that don't look very good at all. And I think that's going to play a part in this being a high-scoring game, kind of like we seen SMU and Baylor last week. I don't think Arkansas has the star power to be able to match up against Ole Miss and what they have. But I think that Ole Miss wins this game by double digits. But I think they go well over. What was the line? 62.5? Yeah, I think they go well over 62.5.
I've got the exact opposite opinion of Brandon Dyer. I believe this game goes under. I think it's going to be a sloppy down under in deep Mississippi. Teams are going to play sloppy football. Taylon Green's going to make a play at the end of the game, get the win for Arkansas in a close one, like 31-21. No, that wouldn't be an. I'm not going to give a score prediction, guys. Fact check there. Fact check there, but I'm not going to give a score prediction. But I think Arkansas wins it. Yeah.
Joey, how are we feeling about this one? We think
I'm going to go with Brandon with over. It's going well over 60.5.
Yeah,
because that was the most recent score prediction was 60.5.
You think both of these? They went over 94 last week. So.
Yeah, so
last year when they played each other, they went over 94 total points.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see both sides of it. I just do think I kind of agree with Aiden with it being a sloppy game from both offenses, and I think these defenses do take that step up. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to look at this upcoming weekend. We're going to look at some games that are going on. We're going to give our picks, and then, of course, we're going to end it off with Who's That Campus Legend, so don't go anywhere.
Yo, this is JT Money, and you're listening to The Playbook on Wolf Sports Network. We do not affiliate with Disney Channel in any way.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, Wolf Sports Network brings you the action you crave. Sports Pack is your all-access pass to the Wolves athletics. From football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and volleyball, and more. If the pack plays, we cover it. Passion, pride, pack. Don't miss Sports Pack.
Every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack is back.
West Georgia's one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether it's UWG, NFL, NBA, or MLB, we've got you covered on all fronts right here on Sports Pack.
Mondays and Thursdays at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Out of Pocket has a brand new showtime.
Yeah.
But what time is it at?
I don't know.
It's not 5 to 6.
Uh-huh.
It's not 7 to 8.
Uh-huh.
It's 6-7. Wolf Sports Network. Hello? Can anybody hear me? I can't see anything. It's like a snowstorm out here.
JT, I need your help.
What? Who goes there?
I'm the ghost of Out of Pocket Past.
Nah, bro. I don't mess with ghosts.
But I need a sports fan that has zero chill.
Well, now that you mention that, this is going to be Out of Pocket. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, Zero Chill. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Playbook picks.
I will always love that stager. But we are back with Playbook picks, and we got 6 games to look at this weekend, starting it off with Vanderbilt going to South Carolina. Aiden, give me your predictions for this game.
Last week, we saw Vanderbilt go on the road and have success. This week, This week they do it again. This time in Columbia instead of Virginia. Go to Columbia, South Carolina, beat the Gamecocks. Diego Pavia has another great game. Vandy gets another big win. Vandy continues to roll, build momentum.
He's taking Vandy.
Look, so when it comes to Vandy and South Carolina, Vandy's first 2 games, they averaged 44.5 points between both of those games. But then they go into South Carolina. The thing I like about South Carolina is South Carolina's defense allowing just 10.5 points per game during the first 2 games of the season. I think it's going to be an evenly close matchup. I like Vanderbilt's offense. I like South Carolina's defense. I do like South Carolina's offense with Lenore Sellers, not putting anything away to that. But I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a one-score game, but I'm going to take South Carolina slightly.
As I said, I think this could be a trap game for South Carolina, but I think that ultimately the Gamecocks wind up pulling out this one, although I think Vanderbilt puts up a big fight in this.
Yeah, I really like what you guys were saying. So we got a 2-1 split right now, and I'm going to make it 3-1. I think that South Carolina does get this one done, and I think the main reason is Lenore Sellers. I think he has a great game against a decent Vandy defense. I think that South Carolina gets this one done, but I do think it'll be a very, very close game.
Vanderbilt had Theo Vaughn in speed at practice this week. They're not losing to South Carolina.
Wait, can I change my pick? No, I'm just playing. No, I'm sticking with South Carolina.
They're ready to go.
I'm sticking with South Carolina. And we're moving on to our next game. We got 2 Georgia Tech fans here, so I don't even know if I want to ask them this question. But Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Brandon, I'm going to start with you.
I think that if Georgia Tech is going to win this game, they have to fix early mistakes that they've had. They had 3 turnovers in their first 3 drives against Colorado, and they had 2 turnovers in their first 2 drives against Gardner-Webb last week. This week, they can't afford to turn the ball over at all. They can't afford to make mistakes. They had 12 penalties last week against Gardner-Webb. Yep. This has been a very undisciplined Georgia Tech team that has just won both of their games this year. But I think that they have the 3-headed monster in the backfield between Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, and Malachi Hosley. Remember that name. He's going to come up big in a big moment, and you're going to want to remember that I told you about him. And I think that this is a perfect storm for an upset for Georgia Tech because Clemson's offense struggles already, and with Georgia Tech able to control the run game, it's going to get that Clemson offense off the field, limit possessions to them in an already stagnant offense that they do have. So they're going to be very Jackson?
I was going to say, but you also got to look at Clemson. I mean, Clemson's offense, we talk about over and under reactions, and we saw the first 2 games. Clemson lost LSU, but they barely pulled it out against Troy in a 27-16 win. Clemson's defense has allowed under 300 total yards per game, which should contain a Georgia Tech offense, and Georgia Tech's offense needs consistency. I don't really know who is going to win, but, I'm going to, you know what, Brandon, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech pulling out.
I don't think I got to my pick, but I do think Georgia Tech's
that's pretty obvious, actually.
No.
This Clemson team has not impressed me so far this year. Georgia Tech is top 10 in the country in penalties committed and fumbles lost. But they've ran the ball tremendously despite it. They've dominated. They were the better team in Colorado to start the year. They dominated Gardner-Webb. Clemson just didn't dominate Troy last week. I'm going to go with my boys in Georgia Tech, of course, at home. Well, not at home, at Mercedes-Benz, but close enough. Yeah. Give me Georgia Tech.
I was originally going to pick Clemson in this game. I mean, I really think they do get it together this week. I think that Georgia Tech, but what you guys were saying with how they do have to get together, but what you guys were saying about Georgia Tech and how they got to rest their starters last week, they're coming into this one. If they get it together, if Clemson gets it together, I'm really thinking, where's my wolf head? I'm going with Clemson in this one. I'm being the lone wolf in this one. Give me Clemson to win this one. I think they are the better team. I think they get it together this week, and I think they beat Georgia Tech. Now we're moving on to USF versus Miami. We talked about this one a little bit earlier, but there's some question marks around it. Jackson, I'm going to start with you.
Look, Miami's offense right now is averaging 35 points per game. And USF, I like the hype around them, but the issue is USF has not faced an offensive firepower like this season. And Carson Beck, you talk about Carson Beck being your Heisman candidate. I can follow along on that train. I think Miami really opens the light and puts in USF hat in their mind. So, knock, knocking on the door. The Hurricanes are going to blow through USF.
USF, I think, so far this year might have been more lucky than good at times, and I think luck's probably going to run out this week in Miami. This is a very good football team led by Carson Beck, who's on a tear right now. I got Miami pretty easily in this one.
So USF heads into a matchup against the number 5 team in the country, ranked number 18. And if those numbers sound familiar, I don't know if you guys were around in 2007.
I was 1 year old.
You guys are a couple of young bucks, but USF in 2007 was an absolute unit. And what happened was they went and they beat West Virginia, who was the number 5 team in the country, when they were ranked number 18 to solidify themselves as one of the big teams in the country. Does it happen again this year? Not so fast, my friend. I have Miami getting this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a sweep across the board. I agree with Aiden. I just think that this luck runs out for this USF team. They got lucky with Florida having a sloppy game last week. I just think that Miami pulls this one out, and we're going to have a sweep in this one. Moving on to the next game, we got Texas A&M taking on Notre Dame, two teams that are ranked 16 and 8. Aiden, I'll throw this one to you first.
This is a difficult one for me. These are two teams that I don't really believe in too much this year. But I'm going to go Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman's shown me more than Mike Elko has over there at Texas A&M so far. And I think this is a game where two teams are very evenly matched on talent-wise, very evenly matched on both sides of the ball. I think it comes down to coaching. I like Marcus Freeman better than Mike Elko.
With Texas A&M, they like to utilize the run game. And I look at this Notre Dame defense. They have withheld their opponents to under 90 rushing yards per game to start off the season. And Brandon talks about 70% completion percentages. We've seen that out of C.J. Carr. If C.J. Carr consistently does that heading into this Notre Dame game, I believe that Notre Dame can defeat Texas A&M. So I'm taking Notre Dame.
I love this Texas A&M offense, but I don't think Notre Dame starts the season 0-2. Give me Notre Dame in this one.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame has a lot to play for. They're really fighting for a chance at even making the playoffs. This game is a really big one going into the rest of the season. They cannot afford to start 0-2. I think Notre Dame does win this, so we have another sweep on our hands. Moving on, we have Florida taking on LSU, a very strong LSU team against a very weak Florida team. Me personally, I love LSU. I think they might be that top team in the SEC even. I think that LSU is a for sure front runner, make a deep playoff run. Give me LSU in this one easily.
Well, you have Florida coming off that horrible game against USF, and they have to rebound to go play one of the top teams in the SEC and LSU. I don't have any kind of faith that the Gators get this done. Give me the Tigers.
LSU averages over 450 total yards per game this season and holds the run to under 3.5 yards per carry. So, and by the way, Garrett Nussmeier is my Heisman candidate for early in the season. Not like Garrett Nussmeier.
A lot of Heisman candidates from you. Every quarterback that starts a game.
Every quarterback, like Bo Pribula. Anyways, but LSU, I really like. I like Barry and Brown. Great guy, stand-up guy.
Heisman
candidate? No, he's not a Heisman candidate, no.
Right,
but I'm taking LSU over Florida. I don't like Florida's shakiness.
I'm going to go Florida over LSU. I think they rebounded this week in a big way. I haven't been impressed with LSU. I'm not impressed with Clemson, so their win over Clemson's not too impressive for me. Yeah, I'm going to go Florida. I think DJ Lagway rebounds. I think the whole Florida team rebounds big time.
It's a lone wolf pick for Aiden.
Always is.
Oh, my goodness. And we're going to move right on to this last game, probably the game of the weekend. Georgia taking on Tennessee. Jackson, I'm going to start with you in this one.
Georgia surrenders to 61 rushing yards and 12 points per game. And Tennessee erupted.
To Marshall and Austin Peay?
Yeah, I know. I know.
We're extrapolating.
But I'm talking Tennessee. Tennessee erupted with 72 points last week. It was against ETSU. But I really like Georgia. I like Georgia's efficiency and able to stop the run. And I believe that the Georgia Bulldogs will bark and run through this Tennessee Volunteers offense and defense. So give me Georgia.
Give him Georgia. Aiden, how we thinking?
In this game, I'm going to go with Georgia. Even though my heart and my head tell me not to, I'm going to go against both of them, and I'm going to go with Georgia. I just think the defense is really good. I think Tennessee's going to struggle to get anything going against Georgia offensively, and I think Georgia can just squeak it out with their screens and their runs up the middle all game long.
Yeah, I do agree, and I was talking about Georgia earlier. If we play like how we have been playing these first 2 weeks, I don't think we get it done, but I do think that we do get it done this week against Tennessee. I think we fix our mistakes. I think we start to convert in those big moments. We actually have to realize that this isn't a trap game. This is a serious Tennessee team. I think we get this one done.
I think this is going to be the first test for both teams. I think you have two unproven quarterbacks that are going to play against top-notch defenses. There's not going to be a whole lot of points scored. I like Gunnar Stockton a lot, and I like Joey Aguilar, who's really surprised me. I thought he wasn't going to be that good coming out of Appalachian State.
State legend.
But there's one thing, y'all, that stands out to me about this game, and that's where this game is being played. That's in Knoxville, Tennessee, Neyland Stadium. And I think at the end of this game, you're going to hear 101,915 fans proudly singing, "Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me.
Change in my pocket.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Give me the balls!"
Brandon is slowly getting quieter. I think it's because the mic is going down. I don't know what's going on, but he's taking the Vols, and we are going to go into our last segment, Who's That Campus Legend?
Bo Jackson, Herschel Walker, Reggie Bush, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel. What do these guys have in common? All these players know what it's like to be a campus legend.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. It's our signature segment time, Who's That Campus Legend? And we're going to kick it off with Aiden first.
All right, guys, we're going to start it out. My player is a quarterback.
It's supposed to be the college first.
Oh, well, okay. We'll flip him. It'll be
all
fine,
right, we'll
guys.
flip him. We'll flip him.
It's a quarterback.
It's a quarterback. Oh, I know. I'm just playing. I'm not guessing.
He went to Florida.
Florida quarterback.
No.
Would it be crazy that it's the guy on Brandon's shirt right now? Would that be a crazy guess?
Okay, wait.
So
now
I'm locking in. I am locking in.
Okay.
Oh, he's locking in for 4.
He's locking in.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not.
This is a stump.
Yeah. I'm locking
Jackson's
in.
Do
locked
I say years now?
You're drafted.
You're drafted. He was drafted in 1967.
I did not get this right.
I got this, though. I know who this is.
Brandon was alive, dude. This is unfair.
Yeah,
This guy was my college roommate.
All right, give me that next hint, Aiden.
All right, he was drafted in the first round, 3rd overall, to the San Francisco 49ers.
I did not get this right.
Give me that last hint.
Dark
All right, he played
points.
from 1967 to 1976 for the 49ers in Tampa Bay. Was that Tampa Bay was a team in 1976? Shout out to them. I thought they were newer than that.
I thought they were newer than that.
Same time that they did become a team. Yeah. Probably during that 0-26 stand.
I don't have a guess. Go ahead and reveal it.
All right, my player, Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, I took a shot in the dark and went Chris Lee.
Nope, I went with Steve Spurrier. I was seeing some great quotes from him today.
Brandon locked in for 2.
South Carolina and Florida head coach legend.
Woke up this morning, saw him talking about the Citrus Bowl in UT, and I was
Brandon,
like, that's going to be
you
my
lock
guy
in on that
today.
3rd hint, right?
Yeah, he got 3.
All right, so he got 3 points there. All right, I'll go next. This player, the college he played for, I got to find it. It's Clemson.
Oh. Okay.
I know a player that
a
there.
lot of good guys come out of Clemson.
Next hint, quarterback.
Oh, quarterback came out of Clemson. It can't be obvious.
It's
I don't know. It is JT.
Up next. Nobody locking in.
No. I don't think anybody's locking in now.
Pick 12 in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
got that one.
One of JT's favorite players, I've heard.
That's crazy.
Ever.
That's crazy.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot. You don't like him. You don't like him as a player, just off the field.
Anyways, we don't talk about his trouble off the field. This player is go ahead and turn the whiteboards.
Deshaun
Watson across the board. 3 points for everybody. Yeah.
Must have been Deshaun Watson.
All
right, Brandon, you're next.
All right. For my campus legend, I'm going to go LSU wide receiver. There you go.
Oh, you're just going to give us the
we
first
got
2
4
hints?
and 5. There you go. Well, to be fair.
First 2 hints right there?
Was anyone going to guess it at LSU?
No.
All right. 63rd pick in the 2014 NFL draft.
Got it. Bang. Is this everybody, dude? I'm going to be mad. I thought I knew ball better. I felt so good about myself.
This is a horrible guess, but I'm locking in. I don't think this is right.
It's one of 2 people. Wait.
Yeah, there could be 2 guys.
In that 2014 NFL draft?
There's always 2 good receivers at LSU.
Yep.
Go one more.
Played from 2014 to 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Me laughing.
I was going to switch my answer before you did that, but I already locked in, so I can't switch it.
Oh.
I got it.
It's all good. I know who it is now, and I'm really upset.
All right. Everybody's
locked in.
Hey, tell us who he played for, though.
Played for the Dolphins, the Browns, and the Saints.
I feel really good about myself right now.
I was going to pick this guy over.
All right. Do we flip the boards?
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry.
I know, I locked in too early. I was going to switch it right before, and then he gave the other hint.
My bad. I locked in for 2.
I was on 3.
Oh, wait.
63rd overall pick, 2014.
So we got, let's see. We had Jackson locked in for
2.
Aiden locked in for
3.
All right. Jackson.
All right. By the way, I'm going to start with this college, my dad's favorite college. By the way, shout out my dad. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday, Jackson's dad.
So, Penn State.
Oh, I really want to take a guess on this one.
Quarterback.
You know, I'm gonna take a guess on this one.
I am also locking in.
I will not be.
Okay.
All right.
You're
I'm
locked.
locked.
You're both locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locking in.
2019 6th round.
I think I got this one.
I'm going.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, I'm locked in.
He played from 2019 to 2022.
Okay.
You're locked in?
I've been locked
Yep.
in.
And Cardinals and the Ravens.
I shouldn't have gone. Okay.
All right, flip your boards.
No.
That's a Trace McSorley.
It is Trace McSorley.
Yes.
It is not Sean Clifford or Christian Hackenberg.
Let's go.
I was really thinking about going Matt McGloin, but I'm going to stick Trace McSorley. By the way, shout out Matty Fresh.
Shout out Matty Fresh.
I thought that was too obvious. I thought Trace McSorley was too obvious.
Go check out our interview with Matty Fresh on YouTube that me and Brandon did.
Yeah, Jackson was asking if he could do a player that was undrafted before
Before we had
Matt
this.
McGloin.
He said, "Should I go undrafted?" No, that's not a campus legend.
Oh, no.
But looking at the final score coming out of week 2 of the playbook, we have Aiden in first at 12 points, Jackson at 11, just behind him, Brandon at 9, and then I'm sitting at 4. Just got my first points in that last guess.
Big.
So, but we're making a comeback. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I don't see any fat women around right now. Sorry about that, but we're going on to the next part. All right. That is it for this episode of the Playbook. Of course, joined by Aiden Navy, Jackson Bulls, Brandon Dyer, and myself, JT. We will see you all next week.